Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
Over the last 7 years, we have consistently released weekly episodes focusing on
obstacle course racing, running, and other adventures.
You'll hear interviews, event recaps, conversations about our sport,
quick news updates about happenings in our community.
And now, here are your hosts,
Standing on the corner,
Michael Stefano and Caitlin Ritter.
Hey guys, it's Michael Stefano.
And Caitlin Ritter. And Mikey, guess what?
What?
This time next week,
Oh, yeah.
we will be in a plane, hopefully, flying to Rome, Italy, in Europe.
I'm starting to get a little bit less stressed out about it because I was able to get this interview done. I have to get another interview done. I have some other things I have to do for the recap episodes, and I got a whole bunch of my real big boy job to do beforehand. But yeah, it's almost honeymoon time.
Woo!
2 years later, we're doing it. Also, if the audio quality is a little different, I was having trouble with my nice mic that I got. It sounded real bad. Keelan's making this awful face.
Trying not to yawn out loud.
Oh, okay. And yeah, I can't even get the blue snowball to work because Caitlin broke that cord too. So I can't remember the last time we recorded without a microphone. It's just right to the MacBook. So apologies. Moving on. Yeah, we had an early Christmas with my family, which was a lot of fun.
Yes, we did.
My coach, Joshua Reed, texted me and said, "Hey, did you do your run yesterday?" And I'm like, not really. I got back home around 1:15 in the morning. I did my 2 miles on the treadmill and went to bed. And he's like, "Oh, you should go to bed early tonight." I'm like, "I would love to, but I have this to do." So for you guys.
He's going to be so disappointed when you're in Italy and you don't do a single workout.
Oh, I'll do bodyweight exercises and stuff.
In our one-bedroom Airbnb?
Sure. I can do push-ups.
Okay.
There's plenty of stuff I can do. What's strong in Italian? You've been learning Italian.
I don't know.
Like fuerte is English? I mean, is Spanish. Moving on. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out Mudgear. Use code ADVENTURE for 15% off your next Mudgear purchase. Caterpie. Use code OCRReport20 for 20% off your next order. And if you use OCRReport20, you will receive some savings off your next Spartan, Deca, or Tough Mudder event.
Yeah. Let's give a shout out to our Patreon supporters.
Oh, I did not see Jason down there. I thought he abandoned us.
Oh, he would never.
Jason Dupree, Samantha Thompson, Bradley Keel, Charlotte Engelman, Lauren Stephen Ritter, Hank and Arlene Stefano, Aaron Grindstaff, Cheryl Miller, Jessica Johnson, Kevin Gregory Jr., Christopher Hoover, Evan Irick, Brent George, Logan Nagel, Asa Coddington, Seth Renderknech, and Steve Bacon.
From the OCR Expo, thank you guys so much for the support. And yeah, we greatly appreciate it. We got to get that December Patreon video out tomorrow, hopefully.
Maybe.
Because that'll give them about a week to submit. Actually, it doesn't really need to be. I have thoughts. Maybe it either gives them 1 week or it gives them 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, because they'll have to send it in and I'll have to work on that when I get back. Okay, we'll figure that out. But this is definitely a good time to become a Patreon if you want a pretty good perk.
Yep. And shout out to the OCR Report, a home for our podcast.
To Will Hicks.
The Podfather.
Check it out over at theocrreport.com. They covered the DECA World Championships. And I didn't get the chance to watch any of that yet, but that is an event that I very much want to go to. There's a picture of the OCR Report team with Underdog Fitness, and I just had so much FOMO. And I knew that I wanted to go to this event, but maybe next year. We'll see. And let's give a shout out to our sponsored athletes, Javier Escobar. Caitlin will update.
Kelly Sullivan, who was at the DECA World Championships.
Yes, she was, yeah.
Ryan Brizzalara, Joshua Reed, and Kevin Gregory, who also crushed it at the DECA World Championships.
As he does. Yeah, very proud. No poll this week, right? We're going to skip meme of the week, heading on right over to quick news, starting with Michael Schutz, 6-hour race. He posted, after 115 miles, it's a struggle to get over a small wall. Now I know the feeling when people say it's hard to get over a wall, but you can do what you want. P.S. Do you also want to try your hand at yourself? Obviously, there's a bit of a language thing here.
That sounds dirty.
OCR Training Schut is holding a 6-hour race on February 22nd. That's almost my little sister's birthday. Anyone can join, and it's going to be mega cozy. Cozy is an interesting word. I wouldn't think OCR is cozy, but I do love that. Michael Schutt, of course, being the winner of World's Toughest Mudder this year, I had the privilege to run with him a little bit when he was starting to slow down, and I could keep up with him. And I talked about how he has a course in his backyard, so I imagine that this is for that. So yeah, if you're in the area of Denmark and you want to find a ultra race to do, I think that'd be pretty cool to be able to race on a World Champions course.
And I will say, with all the Googling that I've been doing about Italy, translations are weird.
Yeah, it's
like the AI translating.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have 2 things of podiums, but it's actually a lot more than that. We're going to go over the Deca Fit World Championship podiums.
For the men, in 3rd place, Nick Riker. In 2nd place, Grayson Kilgore. And in 1st place, Dylan Scott.
Yeah.
And for the women, in 3rd place, Morgan Schultz. In 2nd place, Catherine Fassbender. And in 1st place, Lauren Weeks.
I think people call it Fassbender.
Oh.
Yeah.
And for the male team elite, in 3rd place, Cole Walkington and John Walkington. In 2nd place, Alphonse Delruz and Pio Nancita Mirandas. And in 1st place, David
Magida
and James Muscart.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because I've heard some of these names before, and I've never really seen them written out before.
And for the ladies, in 3rd place, Bethany McChesney and Heather White.
Oh,
in
yeah.
2nd place, Stephanie Hillman and Tanya Theus. And in 1st place, Bridget Brown and Lexi Hazel.
Yeah, shout out to Bethany McChesney, who's a co-host of OFX podcast.
And for the co-ed teams, in 3rd place, Brooklyn Nichols and Alexandra Golick. In 2nd place, Catherine Fassbender and Kevin Gregory Jr. And in 1st place, Kevin Duke and Grayson Kilgore.
Katie Duke.
What did I say?
Kevin?
Oh.
That's not a dude. And now we're going to get to the Deca Mile World Championship podiums.
For the men, in 3rd place, Colin Stiefer. In 2nd place, Grayson Kilgore. And in 1st place, Rylan Shadeg.
Nice.
For the ladies, in 3rd place, Katie Duke. In 2nd place, Janelle Teal. And in 1st place, Tara Jackson.
Tara, who we had on the show a year or 2 ago?
And for the male team elite, in 3rd place, Alexander Golick and Brian Neely. In 2nd place, Kevin Gregory and Zach Tate. And in 1st place, Al Walkington and Cole Walkington.
Lots of underdog fitness people there. Love it.
For the female team elite, in 3rd place, Adrian Goley and Allison Zartman. In 2nd place, Bethany McChesney and Heather White. And in 1st place, Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope.
Nice.
And for those co-ed teams, in 3rd place, Chelsea Grant and Pat Millington. In 2nd place, Katie Duke and Grayson Kilgore. And in 1st place, Kayla
Citadana
and Kevin Gregory Jr.
Awesome. We are not going to report on the Deca Strong World Championship podiums. We're going to save that for next week because we saw the results for the individuals, but we want to wait till we get the team events too, because from what I had heard and from what now I've experienced, the team events are pretty exciting too, so I want to make sure I give them a shout out that they deserve as well. That's all for quick news, keeping it short. Not too many news stories this week, and that's okay. But there will be 5 secret links down below, so you can go check those out as well. But let's finally get to what this episode is all about.
What's it all about, Mike?
I really wanted to do an episode on Spartan Beast World Championships in Abu Dhabi, but it's usually pretty difficult due to language and time zone barriers. So I reached out to a couple people, and I was able to hear back from Richard Hynek, which was really exciting because I've heard a lot about him for years. But like most Europeans, I haven't had the chance to meet him yet. So we talk about his athletic background before obstacle course racing, how he found Spartan Race, his success at Trifecta World Championships, thoughts on the 3K format, hybrid racing, and of course how Spartan World Championship in Abu Dhabi went, as well as the following event in Dubai. So let's get to the interview with Richard Hynek. So we'll just start off with your name and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Richard Hynek, and I'm from Czech Republic.
Perfect. So I believe you're the first guest that we've had on from the Czech Republic. Tell us a little bit about your country.
Yes, I think that I'm the first. My country is in the middle of the Europe, a very small country. For some who doesn't know where Czech Republic is, it's next to Germany or Austria. So,
okay.
And it's a very small country. We have very beautiful weather there. During the summer, it's hot. During the winter, it's winter. But the place where I live, it's only flat. I live in the middle of the Czech Republic, and there is just a flat, no mountains. My highest mountain is like 60 meters.
Oh, wow.
It's not a mountain, it's just a hill. And I have to drive, I think, 25 minutes by car to get there. So, as I said, it's just flat. And there is only one uphill in my village, and it's 6 meters tall uphill across to the train station.
That's funny. It sounds very familiar. We recently had Leon Kofod on for his own episode, and he was saying the same thing about Denmark, also close to Germany, very flat.
Yes, but Czech Republic has mountains, but around the borders, not in the middle.
Gotcha.
So if I want to have mountains, I have to drive like 1.5 hours to get to the mountains.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I can do it, but the place where I live, it's without mountains.
Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about your athletic background before obstacle course racing.
Okay, I used to be a soccer player, not like soccer, and also ice hockey player, and full floorball. Floorball, it's, I don't know how to say it, if it's a correct word, but it's that you are running also with a stick and a ball.
Okay.
It's not on the ice, it's on the floor.
Oh, like lacrosse, I think we call it here.
I don't know how you call it in your country. We call it floorball. Floorball.
Gotcha.
And also tennis.
Wow.
These are like 4 main sports I have tried. And I also did like firefighter sport, underwater rugby, and this. But I only tried this sport. But I have been doing soccer for 15 years almost, maybe 12 years definitely. Ice hockey for 5 years, and floorball I think for 6 years, and tennis for 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So that's my background.
What position were you for ice hockey? My wife's a big fan of hockey.
Defender.
Okay. Nice. And with the soccer background too, that definitely speaks to a high volume of running, right?
Yes. I was definitely the best runner with the best endurance. Only sometimes with the ball, it wasn't the best, but I think that I was still good. So yeah, and with the ice hockey, I was a defender, and definitely I'm a big fan of ice hockey. I still watch it almost every week, and because my country is very famous with ice hockey, so
right.
I do it very often.
That's great. So now tell me how did you find out about obstacle course racing?
Well, it was when I was 15, and I remember that very well because I was sick, and my mother came home from work, and she told me that she saw some videos on YouTube, some good race, and it looks like insane, and so I have to watch it. So I was like, okay, I can find out, and I saw the video of Spartan race. And I was like, oh, I have to try it. So from this moment when I saw the video, I said like, okay, let's go into it. I want to do it. And so half year later, I tried my first Spartan. My mother was not so happy about it because I was 15 or 16. So she had to sign the
waiver
papers.
Yep.
A waiver, exactly. That, and there was like 25 possibilities of deaths, and so she was not happy about it. But I was like, I have to try it. I love it. So the first time I saw it on the video, I was like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
So it's now more than 10 years. I'm 26 now, and I did my first Spartan race when I was 15, 16.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. OCR didn't get big for us until I was in college. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. What was your first race experience like? Were you racing an age group? Were you doing competitive? Were you just doing open?
Open. It was I was doing open. It was my first race with Spartan Sprint, 5K. I did like three penalties, so 90 burpees. And I think that from 1,000 people, I've still finished around 100.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like, okay, good. But when I finished, I was like, I love it and I want to do it more. And I was like, my goal is to be on the podium one day. And I was starting to training and working a lot. And it took me 3 years to get there.
Yeah.
But I was doing everything. I was training a lot. I was also playing soccer and also training on Spartan. And after 3 years, I managed to be on the podium.
That's great. So it's
2 years. 2 years.
it's tough to train for a sport like obstacle course racing when it's relatively new, right? Like if you're trying to figure out how to train for soccer, you can look up a whole bunch of training plans, this and that. OCR is still relatively new. So what was it like training back then when you first found it? And how has your training evolved to where you are now?
Okay. When I started, I was 15, 16 years old and I was training on my own. So I was just running and all out. That's it. And 10K all out, just some, and some exercises in the middle. And this it was no structure, nothing, only one running all out. That's it.
Yeah.
It was not great. And so my parents helped me to find a coach. It was a running coach, but I still work with him. And I also started to learn about and study about the training and everything, how to prepare. So last 10 years, I dedicated my education also to this. So I just wanted to know more about training, how it works, and what can, and just to know more about it. And so now I can also train myself. But I still work with my coach because it's much better to have someone who writes you the structure. I can always communicate with him about my trainings and everything. So it's much better to have someone you can talk with it about it.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense because I find that a lot of athletes is you find something that you're good at and you want to keep training on the things that you're good at, but then the things that you're not so great at tend to be ignored, and a coach can zoom out a little bit and point that out, right?
Exactly. And for me, it's much better because I'm the person that if I have a goal, my goal is always like sky's the limit. It's
Yeah.
just the biggest goal I can ever get. And I want to reach my goal. And so I train a lot and I can go all in and just. So sometimes I work too much that I can overtrain myself. So sometimes it's better to have a coach and say, no, 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 maybe this one it will be better to stop for now or go slower and then push again. So
Yeah.
it's very good to have someone who I can contact and be in touch, and he can write me a structure, everything, so I can communicate with him. It's much better. I can train other people. It's not. It's very. I do it and it's very good.
Yeah.
But myself, I'm always like, I have to train more. I have to train more. And it's different to train yourself than the others.
Yeah.
So some people has problem if they coach like themselves. If they have a problem that they cannot push too much, or they can push too much.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to find a balance if you are coaching yourself. So I think this is good to have someone always, like not only yourself, also someone who can communicate it.
And then in addition to training too, you also need to work hard, but also recover hard too, right?
Exactly.
I feel like that's something that's neglected.
Yeah, I was also lacking this like for 5, 6 years when I was training. I was lacking like the recovery. I was only training, and now I understand that recovery is very important.
Right.
What I do for recovery, the most important part is definitely like sleep. I always try to sleep every day as good as possible, and also nutrition. These are the two main parts. And then, of course, there are other types of recovery, but these are two main.
Right. So when you try the sport, you love it, you want to be really good at it. Who are the great elites in your eyes when you were starting to train for OCR? Like, who are the people that you looked up to?
Okay, when I started, it was it was Petr Žižka from Slovakia, because I was not following anyone from outside the world. I didn't know about it. I was just following Czech Republic, Slovakia, and it was Petr Žižka, and he was definitely the best, in the Central Europe on the field. He won almost every race, so that was my idol. But when I was like growing up in the sport, and I saw like the other foreign athletes, so I also had like many role models, let's say, and definitely one of them is John Albon and Ryan Atkins.
Of course.
Yeah. And they are still my idols, because what they have done is something.
Absolutely. But I will say your name comes up. People can't talk about the Spartan Trifecta Championships without mentioning you. Like, so I know that they're like on we call it the Mount Rushmore of OCR, like the big people, but you're up there too. Do you ever take a step back and think about how you may be a role model for other people too?
Honestly, I've never thought about it, but sometimes I receive very nice messages that I'm a role model for them, and that they change their life because of it, and it's like it feels so good. And I want to be like the best version of myself, and I want to also like to support others.
Yeah.
So when someone asks me or wants to talk with me, I always try to answer all the messages on the Instagram. Sometimes it takes hours, but I say I have to do it because I want to be positive, be helpful, and help other people and motivate them, like especially when they are starting.
Yeah.
So I just want to keep this mindset because it's it's part of me. I'm like this.
Yeah, I love it.
Maybe sometimes I'm always too kind, because I also work on myself. I do a business, this stuff, and everyone is telling me that I'm too kind. So, but it's this is what I'm. It's maybe my personality, but I want to be like good with everyone, and I always try to answer everyone. Sometimes it takes like weeks, because I don't want to be addictive to social media.
Yeah.
It's like if I will write every time and I will be all the time on the social media, I don't like this life. But I want to answer them because it's also like motivation, a huge motivation for me. When I see hundreds of messages, and it's huge motivation also to continue in this sport and do something more.
Yeah. Speaking of being kind, I interviewed Rylan Shadegg a year or two ago, and he was talking about like the importance of being kind, because years from now, if he's on his deathbed, he's not going to be thinking about how fast he was. People are going to be remembering him from how nice he was, so there's definitely room for that too. But with social media, just like training, there's a balance to be had.
Yes, exactly. There has to be a balance, because I could be there like hours, and also I have a work, I have to train, and then social media, and day is only 24 hours, and you have to sleep at least 7 hours. So it's like and other stuff like food, and so the time per day is getting lower and lower, and if you have to work, you have to train, there has to be some recovery as well, and then social media, everything. So sometimes it's very hard to get everything into one day.
Absolutely.
But I think that this problem has everyone. Everyone has this problem. Like everyone has only 24 hours. So
yeah, wish we had more. But let's talk about the Trifecta Championships. Your history is you got second in 2018 and 2014, and you won it in 2019 and 2022. So I guess your first real big success there, 2018, and then winning in 2019. What did that feel? How did that feel for you?
Yes, that was definitely the biggest success. Because I finished second in 2018, and I also was second. And on the super, I beat my idol, Jonathan Albon.
Right.
So I was like, he was doing 30 burpees, of course, but but for me, it was something I was like, wow, that's something. This guy is definitely the best in under trainer running, obstacle course running, just the best.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it was huge.
Real quick
And
on that,
winning the
what was it
next
like to
year,
meet your hero? Like, what was it like to race against him and talk to him at the finish line?
always like always pleasure. Let's say always that I'm here because 4 years, oh, let's say 3 years ago, I was like I was only following them on the Instagram. That was it.
Yeah, yeah,
And to stand with them on the start line or even talk with them was something like wow. It took some time to get used to it, and it's still sometimes that uh, when I stay with them on the start line or I talk with them after the finish line and everything, we are chatting and having fun. It's like that's something I did not expect, let's say, 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
right.
So,
And
yeah.
people love the OCR community, like the open waivers, love it for the camaraderie and everything. But when you're the elite and you're competing and you're really trying to beat all these people, talk to me about what the environment is with the elites too.
I think it's very friendly
Yeah.
compared to other sports. I think it's still Spartan race and not only Spartan, OCR, just OCR community. It's friendly. I'm talking about Spartan because last year I've been doing mostly Spartan races, but this year I want to also focus more on OCR and like on a good combination of it, not only Spartan races or all the other events.
Yeah, definitely. And so what was it like for your mom who got you into obstacle course racing to see you become a world champion?
Uh, Honestly, I've never asked her, but I think that they are proud. I
Yeah.
think they are proud.
That's great. And so, what do you love so much about that event? Because it's very unique in that it's almost like a stage race. Like it's a multi-day event. How does that play to your strengths? Why do you think you're so successful in that event?
Mm, yes, okay. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe my preparation is focused on this, like to be loaded 3 days in a row, let's say,
Hmm,
and only some people can recover. And also, I'm young, so I think it's much easier for me to compared to other athletes. I'm still very young
right.
because there is me, Ryan Shadek, used to be VJ Jones. Maybe he's coming back,
Hmm.
and also some other like Hawk Cole. And I don't want to name everyone because I definitely forget someone.
Fair, yeah.
So I don't want to say, but I think that the let's say the runners and racers in my age, there is just a few of them,
Hmm,
and so maybe it's still in my advantage, like that I can recover pretty fast. And I think that I train a lot. That's another reason because I have a good volume of running, bike riding, everything. Only this year, I was coming back after surgery, so I
right.
didn't have enough volume. So I was worried about the last race because every time last race was the strongest, and it was like I was starting from fifth position and I still managed to win or be on the podium. But this year it was the first time I was really like scared of the last race because I have never run a longer distance than 20K. And the race was 26.
Right.
So this year was pretty tough and I could feel it
Yeah.
because after, let's say, last 10 kilometers to the finish line, I was just struggling and surviving. It was like, it was only in my head, and I finished and it was all out.
Yeah.
And I'm still happy about it because what happened, it's insane because it was let's say 6 weeks after surgery, and after surgery I have to be 4 months without running and 2 months without bike riding. So
That's a
yeah.
lot. Yeah. Talk to me about what was the surgery and everything? I tried to use the translate feature and it didn't work too well to me. So talk to me about the surgery and the recovery process.
Okay. I will try to. I hope to understand. But on my Achilles tendon, ever since I was born, I have bones spurs there, like
Okay.
the bones, some bone spurs. I think it's called
Yep.
like this. And 2 years ago, I twisted my ankle, and one bone spur started to be bigger, and it started to damaging my Achilles. Every time I was running, it was damaging my Achilles. And so there was no other reason how to treat it, or there was only one, just to get rid of the bone spur. So they had to cut the bone, let's say. And it was the only reason. I was running 1.5 years despite the pain, and it was not good because I was running. The pain was huge, and I could run, let's say, 2-3 days, and then I had to stop because it was stiff. I couldn't move with it, and also I was worried about the rupture, and
Right.
I was worried about that it can be even worse. So I decided, okay, if it has to be done, let's do it as fast as possible, and maybe I will be able to race this year. So okay, so I went into it. They cut the bone off now. It's almost pain-free, and I still hope that it was the best decision I could do it, because, as I said, now it's almost pain-free. I can run, I can do almost everything, and I think that it was the best decision. But as I said, one more year, and if one more year is pain-free, nothing happens with it, I will say that it was the best decision.
Good. It's got to be scary for an athlete such as yourself, where this is your dream, this is what you're all in on, to make the decision to get surgery for this. But I mean, Bracken Crocker says it all the time. It's like, it's pay now or pay later. And so it sounds like you did make the good decision and getting the surgery, taking care of yourself, and yeah, hopefully you continue to be pain free with your Achilles.
Thank you. And it was really hard to decide because no one could guarantee that I will come back with this, at least with the same shape.
Right.
And I was also like worried about it because it was my first surgery, and I have never had a surgery before. So it was my first surgery. And before, I was very worried about it, and I also was like, "Oh, am I doing the right choice or not?" And maybe I will never come back. So also my mind has changed that anything can happen, and I can stop like this. It's like it has. So I was sad. I also enjoy the races more.
Yeah.
But I'm the person that I always, when someone tells you that it's impossible, I want to prove them wrong, because it already, and it was the same this time, because they told me that it's not possible to race and they don't think that it's possible to race. And I was like, I want to show them that it's possible to win world championship.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. I was second twice. But still, I'm very happy about it because, as I said, my goals are always the sky's the limit.
Gotcha. Yeah, love it.
And so and I always believe you have to trust, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to do everything for it. And if you do this, you will have a trust, you will do everything for it, and you will believe that it can happen. I think it will happen. It already happened to me like 5 years ago. I have also I had another issue with my body. I have a colon inflammation. And the doctor told me that I should never run again. I should never do sport again. And I was like, there has to be some way. So I was also working with my coach. He's like nutrition specialist. And his name is Thomas Soukup. And he helped me a lot. He told me, there is a way. You have to have a strict diet, and then it's possible. So I was doing like a really strict diet, and I was training, and now I can run, and I won 2-time world championships. So I was like, anything is possible if you believe and if you are willing to fight. Yeah. I think if you are willing to fight it, then everything is possible. Once you say no, it's done, it's over, then it's over.
Yeah.
But when you are willing to fight, and I think that everything that happens to me, it's transferred to the races, because there is the same thing. If you stop racing, if you stop fighting, then it's over and you will never be on the podium. But if you fight until the finish line, anything can happen. Sometimes sometimes you are out of the podium, but sometimes I was like, oh, I'm on the 8th, 7th place, but I was still fighting, and I managed to finish second, third,
I love
maybe
it.
first.
It's
So
good to hear that.
it's the same in the life, same sport, same in the life, same with everything. So that's also my motto.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I like that because I'm not an elite, I'm not fast or anything, but I do love to run. Running's huge for my mental health. It's a good way for me to get out of the house. Like I love running, and I had an issue less than a month ago where I had to go to urgent care because they think it's a slip disc, they think this, they think that. Still haven't figured out what it is yet, and I couldn't run, and it's scary. I'm not gonna I don't have dreams to be a world champion, but it still affects you. And even still, I had to like stay mentally strong and realize like, no, I'm going to beat this. And if it is an issue with my back, then I'm going to try to get the muscles around my back better to support it. And so that's the process I'm going through. So this is timely, and it's good to hear you talk about that.
Yes, and I think it just takes time. I think everything just takes time. Sometimes, of course, it's not possible to be back in 1 month. Let's say 2 months. It takes half year. For me, it took half year to get back, and even now, I felt that it's not 100%, but I was very happy with the results.
Yeah.
I was more than happy with it. It was, let's say, it was not 100%, but it was at least 99, 98.
Yeah.
So, but 100%, it's never 100%. So
Right.
you just have to fight and, always believe. And even if it takes longer than you expected, just still believe. Because after the surgery, 2 months after surgery, I started with the bike rides, and then I started running. After 3 months, I started running, and it was not possible. I just couldn't run, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." But 1 month later, 4 months later, I tried, and still, I could feel it, and I was like, "Oh, will it ever get better?" And 4.5 months, and I was able to run. It was like sometimes it's like this. So.
Yeah. Good. Going back to the Trifecta World Championships, it's always been in Greece because, Greece, Spartan, beautiful venue. I've heard amazing things about it. I was hoping to eventually save up some money so I could go out there and cover it there in person. Next year, it's going to be in, I believe, West Virginia in the United States. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that I'm coming.
All right.
I would like to go there because no one ever won 3 trifectas, and I would like to be the first. Now it's only me or Gregory.
Pretty
Of
good.
course, there can be someone else.
Right.
But me and Gregory, we have two victories, and who win? Me or Gregory? He won 3, so I want to become the first. And I was thinking that I will go there because
Yeah.
Trifecta is definitely I like racing in Trifecta. 3 races in a row, anything can happen, and even the first race is bad. Second race can be different than the third. Anything can happen in the third race. So I like this, like multi-day events.
Yeah, I'm hoping
It's
to.
something like, let's say, Tour de France or something like cycling, that
Yeah.
anything can happen any day. So, and I like this.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because I'm hoping to make it there and cover it in person since it's obviously a lot closer to me and shouldn't be as expensive. So that's definitely on my schedule for next year. So it'd be cool to meet you there in person as well.
I think it will be good. Only also jet lag, everything. I have to like schedule my day, schedule my traveling very well because 2 weeks before Trifecta is European Championship, so
Wow.
it's going to be maybe a bit harder to plan it, but anything is possible.
Yeah. And then speaking of the European Championship, you won in 2022 and I believe you won the 3K in 23 as well, right?
Yes.
What did you think about the 3K format?
Honestly, honestly, I liked it, but it was not. Let's say when someone says Spartan race or CR, it's like more about running like 5K, 10K, 21K. These are more these distances.
Yeah.
But then it was suddenly changed to 1K. It's a little bit different. But if you put many obstacles, if there is at least 1K of running, I found that it's still possible for endurance athletes to get into it.
Okay.
So 3K was good, 1K okay, let's say, but that's the minimum.
Yeah.
Because compared to 100 meters, I'm not able to get ready for it because it's different sport. It's the same like if you say sprinter to go run a half marathon and the same marathoner to run sprint.
Yeah.
It's not possible to change your body and everything. It's not possible. So I think that 1K is the minimum, but the best would be like to keep it 3K. 3K is still good for endurance athletes. It's speed, everything. So even like let's say trifecta athletes, beast athletes, super athletes, sprint athletes can get ready for 3K. So I would keep like this distance or maybe 5K, 10K, 21K. But I understand that no one would that. If I take it from the television perspective, 3K is much more interesting than 21K. So I understand that they have to find some balance to have it interesting and also not boring. And so find some balance. But I think that 5K is still very fast. We run it now in Dubai. It was 22 minutes and the positions were changing every second. And so I think 5K, 10K is still good format.
Something.
So if I like this format, but for me it's like the sprint super bees like 5, 10, 21K distances are better because I've been training for it like 10 years and now suddenly it's changed. But I will adjust to it.
Fair. Yeah. And like you said, Sprint Super Beast has always been Spartan's identity. So it was kind of weird for them to go all in on 3K and now kind of backpedal and not really have 3K events anymore. It's been kind of strange to see that. But
now I don't think that there is 3K anymore, or maybe so.
Yeah.
It was like, as I said, the format was interesting. I'm not saying that it was like it was interesting, like with the qualification round, everything. Yeah, it was good, but it was just not Spartan race.
Yeah.
That's it.
It must have been even more difficult because, as you said, with the Trifecta championships, like you run the sprint and then you have time. If something happens, something went wrong, you have the super and then you have the beast. So you have time to correct it. Whereas a 1K course, if something goes wrong, there's really no wiggle room, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's got to be frustrating.
One mistake, but as I said, it's also part of the sport, so I understand it. 3K is still good.
Yeah.
So, but as I say, 100, this is completely different. For example, some people tell me that if I get ready for 100, and I said, no, I will not, because it's different sport. And I know that for me, it's not possible to train for 100 and fall for 10K, 5K. Yeah. It's just, it's different sports.
Very explosive. Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the Spartan World Championship in Abu Dhabi. So as I said before, I don't know a lot about the Czech Republic, but I imagine it's not a desert. So how do you
no.
How do you prepare to run in sand? Because that is a very unique obstacle for that race.
Okay. I was riding on a bike a lot, but during the summer. Now, let's say from October, it's not possible to. It is possible, but it's not comfortable to ride a bike. For example, for 3 hours. And then I was running on the mud. Let's say like a muddy surface. that was my preparation, but I did only, let's say, 3-4 training sessions. So I was not preparing for this, like specifically for descent. And I think it's not possible to get ready for it.
Right.
Because it's just so tough. And yeah, the Spartan race first 15, 16K was just about running up and down dunes.
Yeah.
And I'm also like 84 kilos heavy. And compared to other athletes, for example, Gregory or other French guys, they are 20 kilos, maybe almost 30 kilos lighter than me.
Right.
And it was let's say funny to run with them because I was singing in the sand and they were running so comfortable on some sand.
Mhm.
Sometimes we were all singing in the sun, but sometimes I was still singing and they were not singing. But last 4K were built for me because it was like two double sandbag carry, bucket
Right.
carry, Hercules hoist, and sandbag carry. So I managed to like close the gap. I think almost 4 minutes or something. So I could win if Gregory missed the speed throw. I could win, but also of course if I miss the speed throw, I would be out of top 3. So
Right.
that's if in a sport there is no if, you know.
Yeah.
So first 15, 16K, I was just struggling, but I knew that if I survive and I will still be in touch with them, I can still manage to be on the podium. But it was just surviving.
Yeah.
I didn't like the sun at all.
So when I was watching it, a good friend of mine, Karanda, who was doing the commentary, was talking about you specifically, and that like people like you are what makes the sport so great. Is that there's no definite body type for OCR. There's bigger, stronger people. There's thinner people, and it's good for people to see that too, and that you don't have to be this super skinny runner to do OCR. Have you ever felt that you've the need to like try to be a skinny runner, or have you ever been like confident in your build yourself?
I don't know. I'm never confident in my weight because I don't think it's. It depends.
Mm.
Because let's say 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there were still like longer carries. For example, you have to be 30 minutes uphill, downhill with the sandbag or something. So then it was all right. But now also with penalty loops in the Spartan race,
Right.
I think it's getting more easier with the heavy carries, and it's more about running and more about running. I think it's just getting more about running. So you have to be lighter, and if you are lighter, then you are better because sandbag carry took 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's nothing. And I think it's the same in like OCR that there is like all there are obstacles and short heavy carry. So I still think that if you are lighter athletes, you can benefit from it. So I'm always like, I'm not confident with my weight, but I know that if I go even lower, then I will not be confident at all because I was just built like this.
Right.
It's but yeah, I can still see that there are some races when it's advantage, sometimes it's disadvantage, but as I said, everything is possible. Everything is possible, and I will be still fighting. And but I understand when it's, for example, running in the mountains when it's just long, let's say 40 minutes only uphill,
Right.
downhill, 40 minutes uphill. I'm never good at it. It's just I'm carrying like 20 kilos more, and 20 kilos it's a lot.
Fair. But yeah, you do think of like Ryan Atkins too, who's like naturally a bigger guy. So there is room for that too.
Yeah, but it's possible. It's, as I said,
Yeah.
it's everything is possible, but but when you're asking if it's better to be lighter or heavier, I think now it's more that it's better to be lighter.
Yeah. No, that's a good point too. I know that here in the United States, we unfortunately got rid of the tire flip, which was like a very, very heavy tire flip.
Yes,
And
I
that,
remember it. I was in Tahoe,
okay.
and I remember that very, very well.
Yeah. And so getting rid of that really changed the sport a lot too. And that's a good point. We are kind of getting away from from heavy carries. Although I have heard that in Europe there are like different styles of racing in different like areas of different countries. So I don't know. Maybe there's some countries that specialize in more of the heavy carry in that racing because I think there is that does deserve to be in our sport too.
I don't think so because, as I said, I think that heavy carries are getting easier
Hmm.
and like they are shorter. Definitely, they are shorter. I remember 2018, 2019, 2017, we were running like
Right.
30 minutes with sandbag. Or there were like in Lake Tahoe, 200-kilo tire flip.
Yeah.
And the Hercules hoist that I was not possible. It was so tough. But
Yeah.
now it's like that and when I run to Hercules hoist, I do it like this, and it's easy.
Right.
It's not an obstacle for me. That's for me personally.
That is helpful.
And the tire flips, there are no tire flips at all now. And but when there is sometimes there is double sandbag carry, and I think it's like good to have sometimes short double sandbag carry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. And you mentioned another big change too is moving away from burpee penalty to penalty loop. So what are your thoughts on that for the sport too, for Spartan?
I like burpees more.
Mm.
Let's say it was because when a runner do 100 or 200 penalty loop, it's nothing. But
Right.
when a runner do 30 burpees, when anyone do 30 burpees, it's something. So I like it more. But I don't like now this that there is only penalties on the spear throw, and all the other obstacles there are no penalties. I also understand the other side that it's hard to control all the athletes. I understand it because burpees, it's
Tough to
I don't know
count.
why, but they are cheating the burpees. So and also the technique, everything. So I understand that it's hard to control it, but only cleaner running. It's also not the best way, I think,
Fair.
because as I said, it takes you 30 seconds sometimes 20, sometimes 40 seconds,
Yeah.
sometimes, okay, 1 minute, let's say, but it's still running. And burpees, they took you at least 1.5 minute and a loss of energy after. So, and now, as I said, I think it's getting for, if you are a good runner, you can like even if you cannot do any obstacles, you can still do very well, in Spartan.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is the reason why I was also thinking like this year I want to try more OCR events and maybe some high rocks as well. We'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
so but I still say maybe more OCR Spartan. But I definitely don't want to leave Spartan, not at all. I want to stay there, but I want to try something new to try where and to know where my weaknesses are, what I should improve, and try different type of phrases.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good point. I would like to see the punishment of the penalty fit the crime of failing the obstacle. Because you're right, if a runner just isn't good at obstacles and they can run a quick loop, it's not really obstacle course racing so much anymore. So it was kind of good to see. I believe there was a sandbag for the championship for missing that really long rig, but even still, it's primarily running. But it was good to see at least some heavy aspect of that. But let's talk about hybrid racing a little bit. Have you done a High Rocks yet, or
No, never, never.
okay?
But everyone is saying that I was built for this, and I should try.
It looks
And I was
heavy,
like,
yeah.
when I saw it for the first time, I was like, it's interesting. I would like to try it. But my focus was on Spartan race, and I know that if I start to do high rocks, I will gain even more weight, and it will be even more tough. And but I say that maybe this year I would like to focus on it. Let's say first half year,
Right.
maybe, and then again for Spartan race and OCR. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I have to make my decision, and I say that. 1st of January, it has to be decided.
Fair.
Because now it's my off season, so it's my off season. I'm just having rest. I'm not training at all, so I have time to decide.
Yeah.
which shoe path will I choose? Because I don't think this is possible to do both. It's possible to do both,
But both well.
but not if you want to be a world champion.
Yeah.
Let's say, and you want to be the best, and I always want to be the best. But I think that sounds fair to just try it, give it a try, and let's see how it goes. And then maybe just balancing between these few.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of OCR athletes turn to hybrid racing like High Rocks or Deca. But I mean, if you want to move heavy stuff, High Rocks seems to be the way to go. I mean, the ending on 100 wall balls and everything, and the sled and everything, like that seems like it'd be rough for me, but it sounds like it'd be good for you.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But as I said, I've never tried one, so maybe when I try one, I will say no, it's not fun.
Right.
It's not fun, and I want to. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's also
At least if you try it, you won't have it in the background of your head of like, what if? So yeah, I think it's good.
Exactly. I want to try it because exactly I don't want to because in my mind is now like what if
Yep.
So I want to try it.
Gotcha. Speaking of somewhat new things, let's talk about the Dubai events that happened after. So I'm not as familiar with that, but it sounded like most of the athletes that were competing in Abu Dhabi stayed for the events in Dubai. So what was going on there?
Honestly, I also heard about it a few weeks before.
Yeah.
And
Very last minute.
it was some event built by Dubai police, and a lot of athletes came from OCR. Definitely, like all the best from Netherlands, from all the Europe, came there, and it was a nice event. 2.5K and 5K, very short distances, but were pretty intense. But I think with 20, almost 30 obstacles. So, and there was a good balance of running, obstacles, heavy carries as well, and I like it. I like it very much. But it was too early after Abu Dhabi.
Right.
It was Thursday and Friday, and Abu Dhabi was Saturday and Sunday. So I could feel that the last race was not the best, but I was still very happy with my performance on 2.5K. So, it was a good event. I really like it.
Yeah.
Like finishing the season with it, why not?
Right. It was cool to see, as you said, like from the Netherlands. I saw Yesterday here. I saw Stein Legrand, who had an amazing year this year too.
Yes.
It's cool to see like Rylan and Sergey, and like it was cool to see a good amount of people show up for it. But it was weird with how last minute they're like, "Hey, we're doing this thing," and you're right. It was just after that, so recovery must have been pretty difficult.
Yeah. The first time I heard about it was, I think, before Sparta, 1 week before Sparta, a few weeks before Sparta. It was the first time I just heard about it, and then I decided to go just a few weeks, before.
Yeah, because as media, like we're trying to like be aware of all the things that are happening, and when that came up, I'm like, was this announced earlier? Because this seems a little last minute, and you athletes need a good amount of time to prepare for it. But I'm glad to hear it was a good time though. Do you think they're going to do it again?
I think definitely.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, definitely they will do it next year.
So starting to come to a close a little bit. I'm trying to do better with time zones and with having more European athletes on. Who are some athletes that you think deserve more of a spotlight for Americans? Because Americans know a lot about United States, Canada, and a little bit of Europe, but I feel like there's not enough Americans that appreciate the badasses like yourself out there. So who else do you think I should have on the show?
Okay, so you mean from Europe, Czech Republic, or
yeah.
From Europe now, the best I think is Gregory Basilico. Is definitely the best guy, and so yes, Gregory Basilico.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about his English. So
I have reached out in the past, yeah.
So I'm not sure about his English, if it's good or not, and so Gregory Basilico, I think.
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's been tough. In the past, I've had a few athletes on that I've got to use translators, which was super great. I had Gian Maria Savani on, who only speaks Italian, and it was really good to have him on too. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a French translator sometime because I think it'd be cool to have another great athlete like him on there.
Yeah. It would be cool with the translator. I think that he can speak English, but I'm not sure what level.
Fair, yeah. And then you said it's the off season for you now. Thinking about High Rocks a little bit. What else do you have for potential ideas for 2025 now?
Uh, Potential ideas, okay. uh, win Spartan Trifecta.
Yep.
That's the goal, and win Spartan War.
Mm.
Like win to win trifecta and sprint distance. These are like two main goals, let's say, and also get ready for Abu Dhabi and see how it goes. These are like these are let's say two main goals as Spartan trifecta and Spartan Havar.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about Havar. That
because I wanted to go to OCR. I wanted to go to OCR World Championship, but it's the same like every year. Spartan World Championship is 1 week after Spartan Trifecta.
Mm.
If it's any other day, why not?
Yeah.
But why they do this? It's like Trifecta and 1 week after is Spartan OCR. Why?
Yeah.
And I know that it's not possible to. And if it's in USA, okay, maybe this is possible, but it's in Sweden. So, and 2 weeks before is European Championship. So from Finland, you have to travel to US, stay there for 1 week, and then travel back to. And after 3 races to get ready for it, it's starting on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm sad about it because I wanted to do also this more, and now I have to decide. And I think that I have already decided I want to focus on Trifecta. But anything can change. Let's say first of January, I want to make it 100%, but now it's like 80-20.
That's fair. And as you talked about, you mentioned it a bit before too, but jet lag is no joke. So my wife and I are planning to leave for our honeymoon, going to Italy. And people don't, unless you've done that travel before, people don't really understand the amount of time it takes, the amount of energy it takes, the adjustment to time and everything too. So it's got to be very difficult. And sometimes you'll have to give yourself the extra time to get here and everything too. So that's got to be really difficult.
Yes, it is. So I have to skip one event. And I'm not 100% sure which one, but I think that I already know which one. So
yeah. And then anyone that you wanted to give a shout out to for, anyone that you want to thank?
I would like to thank everyone who is following me, supporting me, and especially my family, my coach, my girlfriend, everyone everyone who is on this path with me and who is helping me, because it's not only my victory, it's like victory all the others, because it's also very nice when I run on the race and people are just supporting me on the track, and I can really hear it and feel it that they are really with me. And so yeah, that's something that I'm very grateful, and thank you everyone who is with me and who is supporting me. And yeah,
love it. And then tell me a little bit about the RH Training Club.
Okay. I have just started. I have been training this method. It's like I've been testing this program of training for 2 years in Czech Republic with some people, and I was trying to find the best approach, how to find like universal training plans for everyone, let's say. And I think that now I found a way how to do it, because it works and I have a very good reviews, and so I decided to go like to world, not only in the Czech but to go worldwide.
Yeah.
and it will be followed also with Instagram account, and I want to giving advices how I'm preparing, how they should prepare, what should eat, because everything is connected together. It's not about training, it's also about recovery, nutrition, everything. So I want to build something like this that people, if someone is starting, they will find the answers here.
Yeah.
If someone is advanced, they will find the advices here, like to make it full complete. And as I said, I have been studying and I'm still like starting to study, learn new stuff, everything and I was studying for the last 10 years. Every time I was trying to improve and I was testing it with other athletes. I already cooperate with other athletes, let's say for 3-4 years. And I also testing new methods, everything. And some of them, they won Trifecta World Championship or second place, third place. So I work with them and trying to make it better. And as I said, and now I think it's ready to go like worldwide, because I was doing it only for a few people. Like really, I just want to fine tune it, let's say.
Yeah.
Now I think it's ready. Of course, there will be some adjustment. I will adding videos, everything. It's still starting, but the level of it, I think, is advanced. So it's like training with me. And
Perfect.
my girlfriend also, she has a scholar title. Let's say she graduated. Yes,
Okay.
She graduated from the sports science and this. So she also knew everything. So we are communicating together. She's helping me with it. So yeah, I graduated from IT. I'm more IT stuff, and this is everything what I learned. I'm studying on my own. I was attending to some courses as well. I was I don't know how to say it in English, but there are like weeks event and many weeks event, like some courses about the nutrition, training, everything. So I was also like improving, but my school graduation is not from this level; it's from IT.
Gotcha.
But last 10 years, it's all about my practice, my everything what I went through, let's say, and what I learned, and I was learning.
I love it. Yeah, I'll link that down below. And then also, where can people follow you on social media?
Thank you so much. I thank you for this interview. It was a very nice interview. I hope that my English was good enough to understand.
Much better than my Czech.
Okay. As I said, I still, this is something I have to still improve. Because in the Czech Republic, there's not many people who can speak in English, so I still use my native language or Slovak language, and so I need to practice it more. I need to speak. So
you did very well. Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time.
You.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Richard Hynek. It was great to have you on the show and highlight the Czech Republic a little bit. Really, really looking forward to finally meeting you in person. I hope I can make it to Spartan World Championships. I'm looking at my wife as if she has a say in that.
Oh, you want to go to West Virginia?
Yeah. Have you ever gone to West Virginia?
No, but do you know what you have to do when you get to West Virginia?
Sing that song by
Take Me Home.
Who does that song?
West
John Denver.
Virginia.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it goes. West Virginia.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to get it right.
I've already butchered it. But you know, I know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about, but no one else does. For related episodes, there's been a decent amount of European athletes that I've had on the show, and I'm very proud of that. But for this one, we'll just highlight episode 316, Ulrike Evensen on Spartan World Championships, World's Toughest Mudder, and more. And then last year, actually, I think it was around this time as well, episode 363, Spartan World Championships with Nikolai Dam.
Subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. We are Obstacle Running Adventures on all of the podcast players, so please go hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, which is that purple podcast app, please do. We love to hear your feedback.
You can also follow and like us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook as Obstacle Running Adventures. You can also support us over on Patreon for as little as $2, as many as $10. You'll get all sorts of behind-the-scenes perks, such as the full video interview of this episode. I think I might have forgotten to post last episode. But yeah, you got the video interview as well as monthly videos of like behind the scenes or us playing games or something related to that. And then something else special for the new year.
Coming up next.
Yeah, 2024 recap episodes. If you're newer to the show, you may not understand the insane amount of work that goes into these 2 clip compilation episodes, but I have been working on it for hours. And Caitlin helped a bit too.
This is the first time that I've helped.
I know, and it's been helpful because I had a little bit of a later start than usual. What I've been doing is I listen to the episode after it gets released for quality control, and I'll take notes, and then I'll take those notes and the timestamps and get all the funny moments, all the important moments, and a compilation of all the names, and that's going to be the next couple episodes while we're in Italy. And Caitlin's gone back and said that maybe we can podcast in Italy because that'd be pretty cool.
I did change my mind. You're right, because we've podcasted in Hawaii, we've podcasted in Wildwood,
Vegas,
Chicago.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
That's a good one too. I was going to say, how did we run out of things so quickly? Yeah.
Georgia.
We've gotten around. New York, all of New England.
Yeah.
Maine? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've done Maine. So, yeah.
California.
What race did we cover in California?
We ran an 8K from the bridge to the bridge.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco. I forgot about that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what's going to be coming up next. Caitlin, do you have a joke or a quote to close us out before the heat turns back on?
My quote is from, "You've just come in from a rainstorm. You can't expect to immediately be dry and warm and comfortable. But you can do the little things, take off the heavy clothing, turn on a coffee pot, wrap yourself in a blanket, one small thing at a time." And then I have a riddle for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I do like a good riddle.
How does Christmas Day end?
11:59 p.m.?
Nope.
I don't know.
With a Y.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, that just about wraps it up. My name is Michael Stefano.
And my name's Caitlin Ritter.
And I need a new microphone, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe to our show and write us a review on your favorite podcast app.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook and connect with us there.
Most importantly, we would appreciate it if you shared an episode with a friend so we can reach more ears
and continue to effectively shine a light on the people in our sport, as well as the events that we are so passionate about.
Our intro song is Streaker by Straight Up, and our outro music is Iron Call by The Best.
Can you hear me now?
I think the problem is here. So can you hear me well? Yeah. Nice. No, I cannot hear you now.
All right, I plugged everything in again. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Much better.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so apologies for the issues with
Again. No, I cannot hear you again. And you can hear me well all the time?
Yep.
It's okay.
It's just one of those days. Okay.
And now I can hear you.
Let's see. Using which
I can hear you, but the voice is just so bad.
Okay, I'm just going to use the computer, Mike. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds absolutely fine.
Okay, wonderful. Good to know. I need a new microphone set up again.
Yes. But this voice is absolutely fine. I can hear you well.
Okay.
No problem
Perfect.
with it.
Sorry about that. It's been an interesting day today. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Again, apologies for the time zone issues. And
No. It's all right. For me, it's also time zone. It's even different, even more different. Because now I'm in Thailand. I'm not in the Czech Republic. I'm in Thailand.
I think that's what threw me off. And I'm like, we're testing out this bitch. Are you working? Sounds like you're working better than you were before. All right, how about a good old mic test on the computer with no microphone? Not even a blue snowball.
Maybe Santa will bring you a new microphone.
Maybe I need to talk to like Racebrain and see what they use because they always sound really good.
Or maybe we need to ask La Buffina, the Italian Christmas witch, for a new microphone.
But don't make eye contact because she'll whack you with her broom or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Creepy.
She's not as cool as Krampus, but I'll take it.
Krampus is so scary looking.
Badass. The parade and the fire and the fear. Oh. Yeah,
when we have children, are we going to have them know Krampus?
No. They can have like all the cute Santa stuff. But me personally, my heart is with Krampus.
Maybe we can do a little
Krampus for president 2028 or whatever.
Hail turn America.